of the table, and so Sky Sports Tonight features a true four-pointer.
Phil Larder desperately needs a win tonight to keep away the threat to Widnes' proud record of never being relegated. 5 losses from 7 starts have firmly placed both tonight's teams in the danger zone. The Widnes losing streak continued 2 weeks ago when they went down narrowly to Hull. Trinity's first appearance on the big league for this season sees a few different faces. Michael Jackson has gone to Halifax, Gary Price is over at Wakefield, and star-turned Nigel Wright has joined champions Wigan. Wakefield's forward power has been strengthened. Wigan's under-21 international Mike Forshaw's come in, and so too has former Hull front rower Ian Marlowe. Wakefield too are yet to hit their stride this season. The heavy loss to Championship front-runner St Helens was their 5th. They too must win tonight. Widnes will be looking to their speed men, David Myers and new recruit David Ruane to make the break. While a big show from Iseni Farmilo may bring him into Howie Tomate's view for selection to the Kiwis' second test team. Last season, Widnes recorded a big league double over Wakefield. They'll be eager to repeat that dose.
Support is there from Spruce. Spruce has got a ton of support with him, but he won't need them. Spruce goes all the way.
The Sky Sports Big League, Wakefield against Widnes. Eddie and Steve-O now take us through to kick-off in tonight's critical clash.
Yes, there'll be no love lost here tonight, you can guarantee that, because the last thing that any team in the big league wants is relegation at the end of the season and a drop into Division 2. But the thing is, and the harsh fact of life for these two sides tonight, is that defeat here will condemn them to a long, hard winter to avoid the drop into the second division. And so, Steve-O, it's a vital match.
It is. I think nerves will play a big part tonight. It'll be nerves on the part of the players, but especially so on the coach, because the result tonight will definitely prove to one of them that it's going to be a very hard road for the rest of the season. They really have had a lot of problems. Both sides have lost great players, we understand that, but when you look through at the list, Widnes still will put out 8 internationals tonight. They must start favourites. But I'm still going to go tip Wakefield. I think they'll come back with great team spirit tonight, and I think they'll pull off the shock.
Well, Wakefield have flirted, haven't they, with the bottom of the table for the past couple of seasons. Widnes, they were at Wembley only, what, last end of last April? And here they are now struggling against relegation. I know they've lost a lot of players, but it's unthinkable.
Well, it is unthinkable, but the fact is there that they have, and it's they've got to get on with the job, and it's a desperation stage for either side. I think the fact that they've got to start, they love to throw the ball about to Widnes. The big problem is that they just don't tackle, and they fade in the last 20 minutes, and that, I think, could be a problem. I know they play very well when they come to Bellevue, but I think they still struggle in the last quarter.
Well, we'll see how the match unfolds, obviously, but, you know, it is the first really chilly night of the winter here, of our big league season, and 1 or 2 of the players who we'll see tonight have been battling against cold and flu all week. Well, let's check on the latest condition of those players, and also the conditions underfoot now, by going pitchside and joining Bill Arthur.
Thanks, Eddie. The old sponsored car got me here tonight. She had a bit of a struggle going over the M62, but with a tailwind, we got here to Wakefield in the end. That's team news you were talking about. Well, injuries affecting both sides. Wakefield's Australians, Matt Fuller and Dave Woods, have both been struggling. Fuller misses this one because of a groin injury. Woods, though, is fit. He had a fitness check earlier on, was past fit only an hour or so ago with a hamstring problem, but he plays, and that's despite having a heavy cold, the result of cruising round London last Saturday in an open-top bus wearing a short-sleeve silk shirt, which wasn't a particularly sensible thing to do, so he's caught a bit of a chill, but he definitely plays. And for Widnes, well, yet more injury problems afflicting Phil Larder's team. Sadly, Emosi Koloto has had a back operation and he'll be out for 3 months, having had a disc removed. And really rough luck for Darren Wright, who's only just got back to fitness, or thought he'd got back to fitness, but his hamstring has gone again. So he misses tonight's game as well, which means that the youngsters who've been brought in to both sides will be under real pressure tonight, and that in turn means pressure on the experienced players in both sides, like Wakefield's Jeff Bagnall.
Widnes are a bit like us. They have a fair few new players, although they still have a number of internationals there, ex-internationals. We're going to have to watch them today, and I'm looking forward to the clash against Bobby Goulding. I know he's fit for this clash, and I hope to think that we can both play very well, good games, and make sure the spectators enjoy the game.
And do you think it's probably going to be a pretty tight game? Because
it's a game neither side can really afford to lose.
We've got to win because we want to be on 6 points, and we've got to be going into this next period with the games in front of us with another win behind our belt. So we're definitely out there, and we're putting a lot of training this week, so hopefully we can win against Widnes on Friday night.
I think it's wrong to say it's a relegation match, because I know for the fact that we're too good to be down where we are. Like you say, you can't say who's going to win the championship or who's going to get relegated at this time of the season.
But there is a lot at stake, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a lot at stake in this game. Well, the next 4 games, we've got Wakefield away, we've got Featherstone, the Kiwis, and then we've got Leeds. 4 games which we are confident of winning, and that'll put us straight up, back up the right end of the table.
When I first come to the club, I come as a squad player, not initially to step into the number 6 jersey. Obviously, I've come to the club and I've been in that spot ever since. So I'm pleased with the way I'm playing, and obviously David must be. So I'll just keep going, mate.
And what about getting out of trouble? I mean, this game against Widnes is crucial from that point of view, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's crucial for both sides. So it's going to be a real hard game. I think we know home advantage, and we know that we've got to win this game. So I think we'll beat them.
At the moment, people are saying Widnes are in a relegation battle and that, but I don't see it like that. The players they've got here, they're well capable of getting up the table. Some good results, and we'll be up there.
Well, yes, you had the experience of Lee last season when you had that amazing run.
Yeah.
And if there had been trouble, you would have been out of it, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the secret to something like that?
Well, I think once you get it, that lead, he lost 10 games on the run, and what happens is you get to a situation where you've got to start winning. And a couple of good wins, a couple of good performances, and you get on a roll. And we did really well at the end of the season.
Do you think Widnes could do a similar sort of thing?
Oh, yeah. Widnes are capable of matching it with the best on the day. They got a full side out. The injuries they've had this year, and a lot of players leaving, but they're coming good now.
So a vital match coming up here at Bellevue this evening, but first of all we shall meet our local hero for tonight. You know, the name Fox is synonymous as far as rugby league's concerned, and Neil Fox is a member of the game's Elite Hall of Fame. 19 seasons here, we meet him after these.
Seize the day. You're watching Sky Sports.
My purpose in life is to witness this moment.
Sunday, there's a brand new episode of The Simpsons.
Do you want me to go to college?
A chance to make new friends.
We are the Knights who say,
Meet the teachers.
Hello. Hello, Gene. You're a stupid head.
Homer, is that you? And work hard.
Good luck on tomorrow's big final exam.
Exam? Oh, this is just like one of those bad dreams.
All new Simpsons, Sunday at 6 on Sky One.
Yes!
Luckily. Luckily. Grudgingly. Sick as a parrotly. Famously smooth. Tetley.
Halford's Autumn Specials now on. Castrol GTX only £6.99. Autolock Security now £5 off. Save on all child seats up to £10 off. This long wheelbase 2-ton trolley jack, save £5. And Halford's cycle light set down to only £12.99. All at Halford's now.
Only the Flymo Garden Vac is designed to pick up wet leaves. So easy, it's as if the garden lends a hand.
Having a sore throat used to be a real pain in the neck, but now I have it kissed better with these fruity Hall soothers. Just allow one to dissolve slowly in your mouth. First the smooth eucalyptus gets to work before the gentle kiss of the real fruit liquid center. Have your sore throat kissed better with Hall soothers. And the new orange flavor's really juicy.
Heads up, got Strange Express coming through.
Godzilla!
Roar!
Stretch me out on Malibu Beach, bro. With breakers big as condos, huh? Sally Schaefer and a full-on double doppelganger. You catch my drift?
How's your dead fried crow? Oh, Ben's at 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Did you catch the drift?
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to Top of the Pops.
The gang is getting back together all over again. Come and get the very best of Top of the Pops from the vintage years. Featuring ABBA, the Bay City Rollers, Wizard, Stevie Wonder, Alvin Stardust, Hey, and many, many more. Don't miss this classic season of Top of the Pops, exclusively on UK Gold. All right, not off.
Kellogg's Fruit and Fibre has so many delicious combinations, you're never tired of the taste.
Oh no, we've run out of milk.
Don't worry, I've sent George to get some from those French blokes outside.
I'm back.
Kellogg's Fruit and Fibre, you never tire of the taste.
We want your business to stay in touch.
Oh, yeah?
If you had a BT charge card, you could call from almost any phone here or abroad. You'll see the calls itemized on your business telephone bill. And charge card is free. For your application form, call us now on free phone 0800 800 800. BT. We want your business.
Seize the day.
Neil Fox, MBE, earned his place in Rugby League's Hall of Fame by scoring a world record total of points. He kicked 2,575 goals and scored 358 tries. At Wakefield, he enjoyed 3 cup final wins and 2 championship triumphs. But his scoring record will always be remembered and perhaps never bettered.
I don't think they'll score 6,000 points or 6,200. It took me 25 years to do it, and I don't think a person will play 25 years in the professional game. So I can see that's going to be stood for years and years to come. A lot of the records that I broke down here, I was pleased that I was at Wakefield breaking the records, you know, but you don't set out to break records, you just want to do a good job for the club.
Neil Fox had 19 seasons with Wakefield, and despite playing for other sides, his loyalty remains with the club where his career began.
This Hanlon's played well, hasn't he?
He's done all right.
Neil Fox is now 54 years old and he runs a successful sportswear company, but he'll always be part of rugby league folklore. The game may have changed, but the history books cannot be rewritten.
The lads are fitter, they train harder and they train longer. We just used to have 2 nights, Tuesday and Thursday, 2 laps round the field, a few sprints, and then work moves, and that was our success at Wakefield. Because we all had jobs in those days, Bill, as well. You know, with another career to follow. You must have practiced goal kicking, though. Well, I used to go 10 minutes before the training session and 10 minutes after. You know, people I hear talking about Frano Botica is there for 3 or 4 hours a day. Credit to him, he's one of the best goal kickers I've seen. And I think if Frano stays with Wigan for another 15 years, he's the one who would knock my record.
A real legend in the game, Neil Fox, and a true gentleman as well, isn't he, Steve-O? You know all about him.
One of the best. In fact, he was my hero at school, and he actually, I retired before he did.
A hero at school, and you went off before him?
That's right. That's how long he played. One of the all-time greats.
Indeed so. Coming up, an important match for both these sides tonight. Let's take a look now at the way the two teams line up. And, of course, Wakefield, they find themselves third bottom of the big league table. Another defeat, they could condemn them to a fight against relegation. Gary Spencer's the fullback in his second spell at the club, having had 4 years at Leeds. Paul Brown is a trialist winger, yet to agree a full contract here, but he scored twice on his debut against Sheffield. Andy Mason is in the centre, and he needs just 4 tries for a century of touchdowns for Wakefield Trinity. Richard Goddard is the Academy International last season. He's in the under-21 squad to face New Zealand next Tuesday. Andy Wilson's in 5, and Widnes know all about him. He's scored in 4 of his 5 appearances against them. Lee Hanlon is the man signed from 2nd Division Backley, who's taken over the standoff role vacated by Nigel Wright, who's now at Wigan, of course. And Jeff Bagnall is the Aussie who has signed for the Canberra Raiders for 1994, but the former Trinity skipper is at the heart of all their attacking moves. Up front, Ian Marlowe is the Welsh international. He signed from Hull during the summer. Nigel Bell's been a great servant to the Trinity cause, 250 full appearances for the club, plus another 37 as a substitute. And another former Hull man, Steve Durham, completes the front row. He's also seen service with Bramley and Batley. Dave Woods is the former Canberra Raider, now captain here at Wakefield. Fitness test just an hour ago. He plays. Mike Forshaw is the former under-21 Great Britain forward, signed from Wigan for a bargain £25,000 this season. And the lineup's completed by Simon Longstaff. The former Swinton man makes his second appearance for the club. The coach, he believes that better times lie ahead for his men, David Topless. Well, Widnes have been hit by injury this week, and they'll not only face Wakefield Trinity, they'll face the Cheer Girls too. Emosi Kaloto is out for up to 3 months, Darren Wright for between 3 and 4 weeks. Widnes have yet to win away from home, but they have a fine record here at Bellevue. Stuart Spruce is the Widnes fullback, left out of the Great Britain side for Wembley. On the wing, the former Wigan man, David Myers, in his second spell at Widnes, having begun his career there in '89. John Devereux scored the third try against the Kiwis at Wembley last Saturday for Great Britain. He's been Widnes' leading scorer for the past 2 years. David Ruane has had his loan spell extended from Lee, so he's another player who began at Widnes, having 4 years with them in the 80s. Adrian Hadley, the Welsh international, is the man who completes the three-quarter line, and Hadley is in 5. The standoff and captain is David Hume. He missed training last night with a heavy cold, but he has declared himself fit. Bobby Goulding is the scrum half. He was carried off on Widnes' last Sky appearance. He returned to the fray at Hull 2 weeks ago. Andy Ireland is the prop forward who starts his 7th match of the season tonight. And Steve McCurry is the hooker. It's odds on that the under-21 skipper will be the man that Malcolm really looks to fill in for the injured Martin Dermott in that second test next week. Australian Rodney Howe completes the front row. Howe signed from Newcastle Knights. He'll play for Perth in '95 in the Winfield Cup. Esene Familo is one man the Kiwis should use for the second test. That's the view of the Widnes coach anyway. John Grieve is another man heading for Perth. The Manly forward made his full debut against Wigan. And Paul Hume completes the lineup for Widnes. He's the most versatile member of the side. He can play halfback, hooker, prop or back row forward. Today he's the loose forward for his coach, Phil Larder. And so I wonder who out of those two sides will prove to be tonight's local hero. Who will be the men who perhaps can turn the match their team's way? Steve-O now has one or two thoughts.
The Australian halfback Jeff Bagnall is a tough, uncompromising player with an elusive style of running that will ensure his opposite number tonight, Bobby Goulding, has plenty to think about. Bagnall has the experience and guile to lift any team, and he knows a big game from him will go a long way to lifting the entire side. His kicking game has to be on song. He must split the defenders to force Widnes deep into the corner and hope for the Chemics to make a mistake, a factor that Bagnall can take full advantage of. One superstar that has not left Widnes is John Devereux. He proved in the first test at Wembley he fully deserves to be classed as one of the world's strongest three-quarters. His sidestep and evasive swerve gives him the ability to glide past defenders and should cause Wakefield all sorts of problems this evening. A summer stint down under with Manly has improved his defence and attacking skills, especially when it comes to producing that extra second effort. Trinity could have problems if they don't tackle effectively. Devereux is a strong customer to bring down.
Well, you know, we hinted on boots and all last night that perhaps the men feeling the most pressure in the two camps on show tonight, Wakefield and Widnes, are the two coaches. I wonder how they are coping with the stress of life at the bottom. David Topless of Wakefield first.
We haven't done too bad in a lot of the games, but I'm a bit concerned with his home games. We've lost 3, and it's not like us. Usually we pick the home games up, but we have to win 2 away. But we have had a very difficult start. Where the first 7 games we've played at what I feel will finish probably in the top 4, Bradford, Northern, Warrington, St Helens and Wigan. They'll be there or thereabouts, so it's been quite a difficult start for us.
Well, in Widnes you meet a side that are in similar straits at the bottom of the table, so I should imagine it's going to be a fairly tight game.
Yes, they've a lot like us, Widnes, because they've had to sell a lot of the star players and they've been struggling with injuries, which now they seem to have all the players back. And, you know, looking at their side, it's still pretty awesome. You know, that I think there's about 9 or 10 internationals or ex-internationals in, and it'll be a really tough game for us.
You've brought quite a few youngsters in. Are you pleased with the way, despite the results, the way things are maybe settling down?
Yes, it's just a matter of, we've what, 7, 8 new faces, and it's a matter of all them gelling at once, and I think once we do, we'll be able to pick up results.
I think any football team, certainly any team in the first division, in the big league, as we know it, is going to pick up injuries. And because our squad was reduced quite considerably during the summer, we've had our fingers crossed, and we've hoped that we were going to have a pretty injury-free run, and unfortunately it's not happened, and it tends to hit us perhaps a little bit harder than it hits other teams, and certainly it's hitting us a lot harder than it did last season.
Well, up against Wakefield, a side with similar problems, and I should imagine it's going to be a very tight game.
Yeah, I would think so. I've not seen Wakefield yet. I've still got to look at 2 or 3 tapes of their last 3 matches. But Topo has been struggling, Wakefield have been struggling, and it is an ideal opportunity for us to get 2 points. But I'm sure Wakefield will be as determined as we are.
Well, something has got to give tonight, and there's the head-to-head between these two sides. 32 matches played. Look at the record that Widnes have got against Wakefield, 24 wins to 6, and they've won 4 of the matches at Marlow. Trinity side, they're the backs for you. Spencer, Brown, Mason, Goddard, Wilson, Hanlon and Bagnall. And up front, where the battle is usually won and lost, Marlow, Bell, Durham, Woods the captain, Forshaw and Longstaff. And a check on the substitutes, Gary Christie and Billy Conway on the bench for Wakefield Trinity. The Widnes team, their backs, Spruce, Myers, Devereux, Ruane, Hadley, David Hume, their captain, and Bobby Goulding. And waging the war up front for Widnes, Ireland, McCurry, Howe, for Milo, Grieve and Hume, Paul Hume, and the substitutes Carl Hammond and David Smith. Steve McCurry, the man who will probably be called into the full Great Britain squad by Malcolm Reilly to take over from the injured Martin Dermott. Dermott, the Wigan hooker, dislocated his elbow for the 4th time in 12 months on Tuesday night against Lee, and he is out of the test lineup. Jeff Bagnall, we picked him out before the match started. The Australian, and his little altercation with Bobby Goulding tonight will be one of the highlights of this match. New kit, new colours, as you can see, for Wakefield Trinity this season, predominantly white, as is Widnes. The difference, though, is that Wakefield have got blue shorts, and they have Ian Marlow, the big prop forward in 8, the Welsh international, signed from Hull during the summer. The match referee has travelled a long way to be with us tonight, Greg McCallum from Australia, the man, of course, in charge of the Test series against the Kiwis. So we're just about ready then for this Stones Bit of Championship battle at the foot of the table. It's Wakefield who are 15th against Widnes 14th. As we have said all night, a vital match for both these sides. Whoever loses will be condemned to a long, hard battle to avoid the drop. It's going to be Wakefield who will get us underway. And first touch for Bobby Goulding. For Milo is the early runner. McCurry, the dummy half, to Goulding. And this is David Myers.
So important now for Wakefield to move up very early in the piece. Trying to pressurise Widnes. They realise they're the underdogs, even though they're playing at home tonight.
Greg McCallum quickly penalising Widnes and Nigel Bell for laying on in the tackle.
Well, the Australian referee not happy with that, and there you could see on the replay, there's no doubt about it. The hooker all over. No good having a word back to Greg McCallum. The Australian referees don't like that either.
Devereux with the penalty takes play into the Wakefield half of the field. The runner is Rodney Howe, the Australian. The dummy half was McCurry. That's David Hume. Good tackling by Wakefield. McCurry is there again to take that ball, to play the ball from Ireland. Goulding trying to run the show. Devereux fends off his opposite number, Richard Goddard. Can't get away, though, from the next two. But Widnes trying to pick up the pace early on here. That's not the best ball from Goulding. Picked up by McCurry. Referee's whistle sounds. He's judged that to be a knock-on. I don't think McCurry agrees with the decision, but when do players ever agree with the referee's whistle?
Especially hookers. It was an awful pass there. Bobby Goulding, there was no chance for David Hume to get that. I thought he caught it. The Australian referee was wrong on that occasion, but we saw earlier there, Wakefield have to start going low on the big fella John Devereux. He's in devastating form. His confidence will be high, especially after that win at Wembley on Saturday.
So this is the first set of 6 for Wakefield Trinity with the ball in their arms, and that was Longstaff who was grounded. 3 Widnes tacklers meeting the next man charging forward. Nigel Bell is the dummy half. Oh, that's a great tackle from Ireland.
What is ever, dearie me. Ball and all, super tackle from the prop forward.
It's the 5th tackle. Ball is just simply dabbed forward by Longstaff, and it beat the winger, Hadley.
Nice brave from Longstaff. Also, they're taking into the kicking roll. And they just let it go there. Longstaff, the loose forward, talented player.
Widnes win the scrum, as you would expect. Hadley on the charge diagonally. Now Paul Hume, second row forward. Dave Woods meets him, brings him down. 0-0 here at Bellevue early on. Rodney Howe with the run there for Widnes. And brought to ground eventually by Richard Goddard. This is Goulding to John Grieve. That's great tackling, a great forcing back by the Wakefield double act there. The 2 prop forwards, Marlowe and Durham. Crunch time.
That really was great tackling from Wakefield, but the most important part of it is that they were allowing Bobby Goulding to run across at the angle, and they were not dummied by it.
Goulding just with the kick over the top, plants the ball behind Andy Wilson, and it just has too much power on it. Runs dead. It will be a restart for Wakefield on their own 20-metre line.
Just a little bit too strong there by Bobby Goulding. No real advantage, not much wind here. Oh, great tackling. Both sides are really into it now.
Well, we said it was a vital match before this game started, and it's got through to the players, that message.
Beautiful tackle by Howe.
Widnes swarming in, cutting the Wakefield options down. Bagnall will try and produce something now. Another good tackle, though, on the second rower, Dave Woods. Good job that Milo was there, and interference at the play the ball again, and then back chatting, and Widnes a march back 10 metres.
There you can see interfering with a man there. You've got to get off him. Miltic for all it was worth, but either way, he should not have interfered.
Forshaw with the dying swan act for Wakefield Trinity. But Greg McCallum stamping down on, holding down in the tackle very early on. And that's a good strong run from Steve Durham. Bell is the dummy half. He misses out the other prop forward, Marlowe, hangs on himself. And eventually he's brought down by Ireland. Bagnall now. Good ball to Hanlon. Forshaw helps it wider to Goddard. Goddard with the run, the ball is dropped. Referee says it's 6 more tackles to go. Hanlon turns the ball back inside. This is a good attack, this from Wakefield. Bagnall's with it now. Good run from dummy half. A crunching tackle again, though, from Rodney Howe on Paul Brown.
Oh, he's wound up, hasn't he? Rodney Howe, dear me, that's the third one he's produced in the first 6 minutes.
Hanlon to Bagnall. This now is Woods, the Wakefield captain, but he drops the ball. Although he's claiming here that the ball was stolen from him, and he might have a case.
No doubt about it. It was the hooker, Steve McCurry, the left hand, coming onto it and knocking the ball down. That surprises me. That's normally picked up by Australian referees. They really have clamped down on that attitude, stealing the ball over the last 2 seasons down under.
So Wakefield aiming for their first home win of the season. Widnes, they're looking for their first away win of the season. In fact, Widnes haven't won away from home since last March when they beat Lee by 14 points to 11. For Milo with the run, tried to run straight over Longstaff. Lost his boot in that tackle. This is John Grieve now for Widnes. McCurry at dummy half. He brings the prop forward Howe into it. But the ball has come back to Wakefield in the shape of Steve Durham.
Just couldn't hang on to it there, David Ruane. But the tackling is becoming very ferocious.
Just what we expected, really, from these two sides. As we've said before the match, it's desperation stakes for them. Now Dave Woods again fires out the pass, not a particularly good one, but Mason picks up the pieces.
Well, we mentioned before the game the pressures on both sides. I anticipated that Wakefield would try to keep this ball alive, and they've done that so far, but the tackling from Widnes has been superb. There you can see it again. It's Rod Howe, the impact, and the ball slips out.
It's a tenacious battle in the opening 8 minutes here so far, still 0-0. Tenacious forward battle. McCurry, the dummy half to David Hume. Now David Ruane to John Grieve. Gets the ball away to Devereux. Devereux, of course, who had the summer stint with Manly. It really has improved his upper body strength. Look at that, it takes 3 to bring him down. And he's not the smallest centre in the world, is he, Devereux?
No, he's a big boy, but it's so important for either side to try to get the first blood on the ball. If they can get this try first, it really will lift the side's confidence. Very few breaks so far.
Now here's Paul Hume. The Widnes defence, though, standing firm. The Wakefield defence, rather, standing firm. Hume to the second rower. That's for Milo. Ball bounces, goes to ground. A real scramble for it. Wakefield have it. Referee says play on.
Rightly so there, David Hume, number 6 from Widnes, tried to keep that ball alive, realising he was late, the last tackle.
And again, the tackle on Dave Woods. The ball just spills from his arms. The referee, as you see there, McCallum, wiping the tackle count clean. 6 to go then for Widnes, in possession with Ireland. Now it's with for Milo. The ball eventually fed to Hadley. Hadley on a diagonal run, cut down by Mason. Here's David Hume changing the direction of this attack. Back to Spruce. Stuart Spruce, angry to be omitted from the Great Britain side, one of the form full-backs of the big league this season.
That was a nice scissors move from Widnes. They're really getting themselves organised now.
Goulding, long pass out to David Myers. That ball went forward, though. Referee McCallum, spot on. Picked that one out.
Oh, in a great position there, the Australian referee. The long ball out wide. I thought perhaps Shepherd could have been thrown here just before that long ball came out wide. But there was no doubt about it that Myers was in front when he took that ball.
So Wakefield in possession with Mason, but too near their own line for comfort, and Spruce doing a good tackling job. That's the trialist winger Paul Brown in possession now. Burst onto the big league scene with 2 tries on his debut against Sheffield. The club he plays for in the amateur game, Walnut Warriors. Great name for an amateur club, that, isn't it? But this is the big league. It's a big step up from amateur football to this level. And Bagnall is well used to it.
Well, you could hear one of the players shout out, good defence, and it certainly is. The Widnes centre's moving in very quickly. They're forcing Wakefield to play down the middle of the park.
Ball bouncing awkwardly for Spruce. And he didn't make any progress at all. Wilson was in there, so too was Goddard. And they brought him down on the quarter line. Myers to Hadley. Hadley, the former Salford man, former Welsh Rugby Union international, of course. This is David Ruane. Great tackle.
Well, it's getting to that stage now where the tackling is becoming so hard. The little chip over the top could change things.
Lovely step, though, from Devereux. What a run this is. He's through the full back. No one there in support. It was a good job that Hanlon was there to bring him down. Ruane, under pressure, gets the ball away to Goulding. Goulding, another long pass. That's a lovely ball to Paul Hume. Paul Hume out to the far side. Forward again. No try. The Hume brothers thought they had it sorted then. David Hume touches down. The pass from Paul was forward.
Well, this really should have been a try. His brother was well in front, but what a beautiful ball that sent Paul Hume racing through the gap. Great play by Devereux to put him into that position. And that's the second occasion that Widnes have blown the chance. But what a great run from the centre, John Devereux.
Well, a couple of chances, and what a run from Devereux for Widnes. 4 successive away defeats this season, but they should have posted a couple of tries, and they might have done had those passes not drifted forward.
A little bit of panic setting into it. They're making that break, and they really should consolidate.
13 minutes, still 0-0. Bagnall gets the ball away to his captain, the old captain to the new captain, David Woods. Bagnall again. As we said at the start, this fella's at the heart of the Wakefield attacks. Now it's Gary Spencer full-back. That's intuitive play from Spencer. Over the top to Hanlon. They can keep this movement going. It's with the second rower, Mike Forshaw. Good move from Wakefield, and Brown was hauled to the ground by Adrian Hadley. Here's Bagnall again. Ball is drifted over the top, looking for a bit of space behind David Myers. It bounced off Myers' chest and went backwards. Referee says play on.
Oh, super football from Wakefield there. They realised that it was getting tough down the middle, and Spencer, the full-back, opted for the little chip over the top, and it paid off for him. That's a back inside. This is the end of the move. Beautiful run. But what a great tackle there from Adrian Hadley. That was a try-saver.
It stays at 0-0. The short pass from Ruane found John Grieve. And he lost it, or was it stolen? It was stolen, says referee McCallum.
Just a little bit of a hand there. It was Jeff Bagnall. That was stupid play. An Australian trying to kid an Australian referee. It's not on. He should have a little bit more experience to do that. Right in front of Greg McCallum. Lost a good position there for Wakefield. Widnes now with a great chance for the big kick downfield to apply even more pressure.
Devereux applying the boot. Been a bright opening to this match, though, hasn't it? So much at stake. A real four-pointer in every sense of the word. Just 4 points difference separating these two sides at the foot of the table. Only Lee are below them. Quarter of an hour gone, 0-0. Andy Ireland picking himself up. McCurry is the dummy half. David Hume, now David Ruane. Good tackling, though. Longstaff's getting through a lot of work already tonight. Devereux at dummy half. Grieve shrugs away from Longstaff, tries to get away from Steve Durham, but can't do so.
Both packs are working very hard, especially close to the ruck.
Goulding with the long ball, fires it into the arms of Spruce. And Spruce tried to feed Hadley, but it was just a little bit too elaborate, and the ball was knocked on.
They must control this ball there. Spruce was running at the angle, screaming for Hadley to come inside. He left it late. Both shake their head in disbelief. That's been the story of this season so far, I'm afraid.
It's Bagnall who disappeared there under the challenge from Paul Hume. Dave Woods, he has seen plenty of the ball so far tonight, with lots of handling errors from these two sides, as you would expect. Nigel Bell, he's got prop forward Ireland and Paul Hume all over him.
Well, there's been a few handling errors, but really that's put down to the strong tackling. Most of them have been forced errors.
Here's the big prop forward, Steve Durham, formerly with Hull. Spencer was the dummy half. Here's Longstaff with the kick downfield. That's got too much meat behind it, has it? No, it held up on the turf. Spruce has to run it out. He sidesteps away from Brown, but then is greeted by Mason and company, but a good kick downfield by Longstaff.
Well, he played it very well, didn't he? He had the point where Bobby Goulding was herring down upon him. He just took one sidestep, shoved it right into the corner. There's no point in putting it into touch. Trying to get into that in-goal area and hope that Widnes make a mistake.
Strong run from Familo. The man that Phil Larder believes should be in the Kiwi side for that second test next Saturday. Good run too from Rod Howe. They're on halfway, Widnes. Now they're with Spruce. He'll drift one over the top, but straight into the arms of Andy Wilson. The winger cuts inside Devereux, but Devereux just hung on to his ankle.
Unusual option there that Spruce decided to kick the ball to the experienced Andy Wilson on the left wing. One would have thought that the tactics would have gone to the youngster Paul Brown, who's really just here for a trial at Wakefield. That's the corner I'd be kicking to.
Wakefield third bottom tonight. Third bottom they finished last season. Widnes fourth. Wakefield sixth in 1992. Been a bit of a dip in their fortunes lately for both these two sides. They've lost star players, each one, but still enough quality out there on the field tonight to secure the 2 points that they both desperately need. And David Myers doing his best to get away from the Wakefield defence.
That was a super run there by Myers. Really is very strong in the upper body. Hard man to get down unless you go for the legs.
Widnes in possession with that great record here at Bellevue. Only 2 defeats in the last 10 visits since 1980. Howe stands in the tackle, gets the ball away. David Ruane, good tackling by Nigel Bell. McCurry is the dummy half. He's going on his own, is McCurry, but he slipped then. And he took a bang too.
He certainly did. He caught one for his corner there from Lee Hanlon, but he was running pretty low. Either way, he caught a right foot, a right hand, should I say.
Bobby Goulding's been listening to you, Steve-O. That kick was diagonal and over the top, but there's the thump that McCurry took. Yeah, the diagonal kick from Bobby Goulding. McCurry is all right, by the way. Went to that wing that you were calling for, Paul Brown, put him under some pressure. But here's Marlowe. That's a great run, and Bagnall's in support. Bagnall all on his own at the moment, looking round for the Wakefield Trinity supporting act to follow him up. No one was there. Now it's Brown again.
Beautiful sidestepping run by the prop forward Marlowe. But when Bagnall got possession, there was just no one to back him and follow through.
Gary Spencer now chips over the top. Good job Myers was there. Goddard was breathing heavily right behind him. Now Stuart Spruce. This is tight as a drum, 0-0. We're midway through the first half. Spruce with the run from one side of the field to the other.
Both sides desperate to get those first points. They know it will build their confidence. Both sides having few chances, should I say.
Here's for Milo. One of those familiar runs from him. Little half break, really. Good job that Wakefield are alert to that danger. We're on the last tackle, so Goulding kicks downfield. That skims away off the turf. That one will run dead.
Not happy with it, and rightly so. That's the second one that he's pushed too far.
Former Wigan man and Leeds. Bobby Goulding, he was their Player of the Year in 1992 before they decided to offload him to Widnes. Lee Hanlon. Good tackling for Milo. I know that Howie Tamati and the New Zealand camp will be watching this match with interest tonight. I wonder if Milo will catch his eye.
Well, he's certainly worked hard. He loves to run out wide in the centres. He's done that on a few occasions, and there we saw just a little moment ago a very good tackle indeed. He knows it's important for him to have a big game, not just for New Zealand. He wants Widnes to get back up there with the top.
Widnes enjoying the better of the possession at the moment, but it's with Longstaff for Wakefield. Another kick downfield from the loose forward, but it drifted too long this time.
You could see the disappointment in his face. The tactics are there. Both coaches fully aware how important the kicking game is.
Here's Rod Howe. That's almost a good ball. Can Widnes keep it moving? They can with John Grieve. The referee said it was a Wakefield Trinity hand that got into that pass, and so it's 6 to go for Widnes. David Hume to brother Paul. For all their possession, though, Steve-O, Widnes really are having trouble breaking this line, apart from those two forward passes. Now they might have a chance with Milo. Off he goes again, drops it. Was it a knock-on? No, referee says play on. The ball went backwards. That's a nice jinking run from David Hume. Suddenly Wakefield under the cosh in their own quarter. Widnes in possession with McCurry. Bad ball. Devereux picks up the pieces. Whoa, just brushes one away, sidesteps round another. The strength that Devereux has. He really has improved since he's come back from Australia. Last one for Widnes. They're in possession with Goulding. Delayed the pass. Delayed it too long. Went and fielded it himself. And it's on the last tackle. So possession will turn over.
Well, they're claiming Widnes that it was a knock-on, but no, that still classifies as a Widnes knock-on. It was not held by the Widnes player. Even though it didn't touch the ground, that is classified these days as a knock-on from Widnes. But what a great run from Devereux there. You could see the handoff, and that would certainly show Jeff Bagnall that he's not got to go high on a big man like that. You could see the mouth guard fly out. You don't go high on big men like John Devereux.
24 minutes gone then, 0-0. And one of the Wakefield Trinity injured players, Matt Fuller, talking downstairs with Bill.
Matt, it's very, very tight, isn't it?
It's very tight in parts, isn't it? I think we just got to stop the momentum. You know, I think the first team that settles down and starts playing some good open rugby league will get on top here in the first half.
There have been hints of good open rugby league, haven't there? 1 or 2 chances.
There have been 1 or 2 chances. Both sides have had their chances. Both sides have had their chances. I think, as I said, we just got to settle down and play to the pattern. And I think once we get on top, if we get on top, we'll be good.
Well, it was one Australian talking and another Australian being pulled out by the referee, Rod Howe, for that high challenge. Penalty Wakefield.
Yes, attempted one. There was no maliciousness in that. Didn't swing the arm, he just sort of dipped it up. The momentum of the player went through. Either way, can be quite painful, and it is still a penalty. You must not even attempt to tackle a man above the shoulders.
Ian Marlowe, Welsh international, the man they signed from Hull, disappears under that challenge. A chance here for Wakefield to try and examine this Widnes defence. Low penalty count, 2-2. Nothing on the scoreboard as yet. But Mike Forshaw, the former Wigan man, trying to get through. He was hauled down by Grieve. This is a good attack building up here for Wakefield. Long ball to Goddard. Goddard's got Wilson. He went inside, took the tackle from Ruane, finished off by Hume. 10 metres from the line. Wakefield in possession with Bagnall. Bagnall stepping. Good run from Bagnall. The support there from Hanlon. Great scrambling defence from Devereux and Spruce. Last tackle. Wakefield so close. The ball with Longstaff. It bounces off the backside of one of his players. Referee says
offside. The man was standing in front of the kick. There was no advantage either way. So he'll play the turnover. But what a great tackle from John Devereux and Stuart Spruce on the number 6, Lee Hanlon. It looked for all the world that Hanlon was in for the first try. It was great play by Bagnall.
So nothing to choose between those two sides on the league ladder in the big league, and nothing to choose between these two sides here tonight. 0-0. And I think the referee has ruled that that pass was forward.
Yes, a little bit too late that it just touched the arm of Bobby Goulding. That was enough to constitute a forward pass.
Forshaw picks himself up. Nigel Bell's the dummy half. He finds Hanlon. Hanlon to Goddard. Goddard to Mason. Andy Mason, the man needing 4 tries for 100 for Wakefield Trinity. No sign of a try here tonight. Marlowe with the run, gets the ball away to Longstaff. He finds Bagnall. Bagnall to Hanlon. Hanlon to the second row. Woods, who dropped it again. Well, he's seen plenty of it, Dave Woods, but he's got butterfingers tonight.
Well, was he being interfered with there? You could see he was trying to perhaps come back and look for the man running on the inside. But the impacts of the tackles.
Andy Ireland with this run. Makes 10 metres ground before he's held standing up. McCurry at dummy half to Goulding. Now for Milo. For Milo, must say, he's looking hungry for work tonight. Gets the ball away to Grieve. I think he knows a Kiwi place is beckoning for him for Milo.
Well, he's worked hard, he's running out wide, but they've got to start spinning it, miss the man out a little bit more, I feel.
It was Spruce who found Ruane. Ruane trying to wriggle free. Good tackling by Brown, the trialist winger here at Wakefield. David Hume hoists the kick, but hoists it too high.
He was put under a lot of pressure, but either way, he won't be happy with that. Experienced player David Hume going through a bad patch. He realises what's ticking over in the mind. When are we going to hit the winning trail?
Both these sides have only managed, well, Wakefield have scored 19 and Widnes have scored 17. So I suppose really we should have expected this match to be nothing to choose, and that's the way it's been for the opening half hour or so here. 0-0. Wakefield, though, coming more and more into this match. The run is from Goddard. He broke clear. He has Andy Wilson in support. He might not need him. Gets away from Goulding. Gets the ball to Longstaff. Longstaff hauled down eventually. And perhaps the chance has gone for Wakefield, but they'll try and build on this. With Bell to Bagnall. Bagnall to Hanlon. Long pass from him to Spencer, the fullback. Mason's there, but that's good tackling. Paul Hume, great tackle, last one. Hanlon dabs the ball forward. Referee had his back turned when Hanlon hit the deck. No penalty.
Well, they just stood their ground, didn't they? Hanlon tried to milk it. Paul Hume didn't move all that much. But excellent play by Wakefield. He tried his best at the number 6, Hanlon, to get a penalty. But what a great break by the centre, Richard Goddard. One of the few occasions that Widnes went too high, and they nearly suffered.
Ireland is brought to ground by Dave Woods. Little signal behind his back there from McCurry. Told John Grieve it was going to go left. Grieve read the signal, but so too did the Wakefield defence. Now McCurry. Good ball. Paul Hume just can't keep his feet.
It's better play there by Widnes. Nice little run from the hooker, Steve McCurry. Notice he run out wide from the dummy half position. Look for the man inside.
Bobby Goulding hoists the bomb. Test for Spencer. Bounces back off Spencer. It's still the 5th tackle. It's Hadley in the far side. Hadley with the try. And the referee gives it. That was an awful attempt to defuse that bomb from Goulding. It bounced back. The referee said play on. And Adrian Hadley cashes in with his first 4-pointer of the season.
Excellent kick by Bobby Goulding. The kick is something that they've been wanting to do. They've gone for length, but they've gone for height this time. Now, I thought Goulding had taken out the fullback Gary Spencer. In my book, the referee didn't see it that way. And the big winger Hadley had enough strength to reach out. Ball back to Goulding. Now let's watch it. Keep your eye on Goulding now as the fullback comes into it. He waits for it. And as far as I'm concerned, Goulding just took the man out. Wasn't seen that way by the referee. Lady Luck has gone Widnes' way in my book, but that was still to take. That was good finishing there by Hadley.
Adrian Hadley, substitute for Wales against New Zealand at the Vetch Field, and John Devereux, goal kicker now for Widnes. All the Welshmen, it seems, can kick a good football, but Devereux will have to be at his very best to land this 2 points. From far out on the touchline, and he screwed it wide, so it stays at Wakefield 0, Widnes 4, but the important first blood to the Chemics.
The camera never lies. Look where the ball is, and look where Goulding is in, making contact already with a full-back. Bump. That should be a penalty. You can see the referee, Greg McCallan, saying play on. That might have been a suspect forward, but it doesn't matter. It's going to count for 4. It was well finished there by Adrian Hadley.
Spruce underneath the kickoff, and he finds Familo. Oh, that's a great run from Familo. He really has got his appetite back.
Oh, and a fine first half, but look at the difference in the spring now in Widnes. First points on the board. Watch them go now. It's going to be difficult for Wakefield to hang on for these 6.5 minutes to the half-time break.
Widnes on halfway with Andy Ireland. Dave Woods the tackling. Bit of help too from Steve Durham. 4-0 Widnes ahead then, courtesy of that Hadley try. Goulding with the kick over the top again. Wilson is there this time. Ball takes a nasty little turn, but Wilson's able to pick up, then head off. That was good tackling again, though, by David Hume. No doubt about it, Steve-o, these two sides are working very, very hard, aren't they?
So much at stake. They don't want to go into the second division. Quite a few of these players' contracts would be up. And I can assure you that when you're playing in the second division, you cannot demand as much money. They say they don't think about it whilst they're playing, but believe you me, they do.
Hanlon somehow kept hold of that ball. And this is Mike Forshaw. Of course, he won't know what second division football is all about, coming from Wigan. Not in the recent past, anyway. This is Longstaff.
Been impressed with Simon Longstaff. He's worked hard, got a good kicking game.
Vital 5 minutes coming up for Wakefield Trinity. That's a high kick downfield. It will bounce kindly for Spruce.
Just too far for Lee Hanlon there. It was a nice kick at the height, but nothing compared to the one that Bobby Goulding had put up just a few moments earlier. Both sides now, Eddie, getting the key. They know that the kicking game is the one way to break down this very strong defence.
That ball's come free. The referee, I think, will call for knock-on, although Devereux is convinced that the ball was stolen.
Pretty hard to say there. The ball had gone before we could see it. Bagnall were already claiming to the referee, wasn't he?
And he got the scrum and feed, and he has the ball, and now it's with Hanlon. And this is Spencer, the fullback. David Hume just lying on long enough for the Widnes defence to regroup. Forshaw with the short pass to Mason. Mason couldn't hang on to it. That's David Ruane being scrapped to the floor by Nigel Bell.
Well, that was a bad mistake there. There was no pressure on. The experienced Mason should have taken that.
Possession still in Widnes' favour. So is the score, 4-0. And they're in possession now with Grieve. And McCurry on a run, trying to catch the eye, of course, of Malcolm Reilly. He's down to skipper Great Britain next Tuesday against the Kiwis. But with Martin Dermott injured, it seems to be either between McCurry, Lee Jackson at Sheffield, and possibly Bernard Dwyer of St Helens, who gets that hooking role for the Lions. Good take this time for Spencer.
It's certainly taken his chance here is Steve McCurry. He's a very talented player. And over the last 5 or 6 minutes, offside there. For Milo, a little bit too excited, moving off the mark before it's given time. See him out wide there. He had quite a few to choose from.
Wakefield Trinity then, as we approach half-time, trailing 4-0. Remember, they still look for their first home win of the season. Widnes for their first away win since March. Bang! What a tackle! Rod Howe on his opposite number, Steve Durham. Bang!
He builds up for them, doesn't he? Tackles them, and Howe. Just getting back to that Steve McCurry thing, Eddie, it's an amazing thing that in the last 10 minutes McCurry has started to find a few gaps running from dummy half. The Wakefield second markers must have to work harder.
Longstaff with a little half break. It was a good tackle and needed to be too from Paul Hume. Spencer finds Woods. Last Wakefield tackle in this set of 6. What they would give for a try here. Hanlon with the run. And good tackling again from Widnes. It really is a question at the moment for this Widnes defence, but they shall not pass.
And with tackling like that from Milo, that really was a good ball and all tackle. Hanlon tried to squeeze it out, but it was far too late.
Devereux swings a left hook in the direction of Goddard. Fortunately for Goddard, he missed.
That was a forward pass. Man just going over that mark. A little bit too much. Quite a few players trying to get away with it. 50-50 from here.
But not from where referee Greg McCallum saw it. Certainly he's one of the top officials in the world, the Australian referee. He's policing this scrum that's fed by Bagnall. He's over here to control the test series between Great Britain and New Zealand. Controlling quite a few matches in between time too. And he's a popular figure amongst the players, despite the fact that now and again he gives decisions against them. Always talking to them, always telling them what his decision will be. Just a calming influence. Bagnall for Wakefield. Turns the ball back to Durham. Hanlon couldn't hang on to it, but got it. And the ball went backwards, so play on, says the referee. This is Brown.
Well, that was a scissors set move that went wrong. Hanlon just overrun it a little bit.
Bell to Woods. That's a good ball. Forshaw was the man. Gets it away to Woods again. This is Longstaff. Much better from Wakefield Trinity. They build their attacks, don't they? But there's the half-time siren right on the button. And so Widnes ahead by just 4 points to nil at half-time in this vital match at the bottom of the table. And Adrian Hadley's try separates these two sides as they go to the half-time cups of tea. Hadley, the Welshman, a priceless 4 points perhaps.
Seize the day.
You're watching Sky Sports.
You're dealing with a devious, diabolical mind. Deep-seated, obsessional hatred. You're dealing with someone very dangerous.
How's it feel to kill someone?
You tell me.
You're sleeping with her, aren't you?
Everybody she plays with dies.
I know what happened, all right, go!
Michael Douglas.
You're in over your head.
Sharon Stone.
Somebody has to die.
This is some kind of joke.
Basic Instinct premieres Saturday at 10 on the Movie Channel.
Basic Instinct, just one of 36 premieres you can see in October on the Sky Movie channels. Call 0506 460000. That's 0506 460000 now, and we'll switch you on.
By dawn, we were fading fast. But she had kept a dance for the rising sun.
She's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it.
She was like a force of nature, dynamique, irresistible.
Dynamique, the new fragrance from Impulse.
Amber nectar, eh?
It was real special, son. Like an angel crying on your tongue.
Could it be the inspiration for a more noble, decent way of life?
But it tastes good. Son, time has come. Take the one machine that still works and go out and find it.
Remember all I taught you about urban survival?
Oh, no worries. Always lay the soup spoon on the outside of the knife.
That's my boy.
Hey, this is hit for the baby. This is hit for the baby.
What better time to buy a new Polo? Call 0800 333 666 for full written details.
In Texas today, these Ruth ceramic wall tiles are just $2.99. Texas Price Watch, making sure you can't buy cheaper every day.
Goals on Sunday.
Goals on Sunday kicks off a Super Sunday of live match entertainment. As well as all the goals and interviews from Saturday's Premiership games, we'll update the facts and figures behind the action. You can enjoy John Solako's expert analysis.
Definitely.
Check the newspaper reports and what the fans say.
Definitely, yeah.
Pathetic.
All this and more. Get your football week off to a flyer.
You heard it here first.
Goals on Sunday in association with Ford, Sundays at midday, Sky Sports.
Seize the day.
One of rugby league's more confusing rules is when a player attempts to defuse the high bomb. On this occasion, you can see the defender accept the ball, yet eventually step outside the dead ball line. On the slow motion replay, the player jumps from within the in-goal area, and irrespective where he lands, the bomb has effectively been defused. A 20-metre place kick is the result.
And of course, the bomb was the result of the try, or rather the try was the result of the bomb here tonight at Bellevue. The try from Hadley, scored for Widnes. They lead by 4 points to nil. We told you before this match that there'd be nothing to choose between the two sides. Steve-O, so it's proving.
Oh, there's been some great tackling, but there's also been some great breaks. Wonderful football. Both sides, we knew that they were desperate, and we knew that they'd want to try to get points on the board, but the tackling has been absolutely amazing.
Well, tackling, as you say, and those breaks you've talked about, and certainly for me, one man who has come back from Australia leaner, fitter and more hungry is John Devereux.
Oh, one of the best steppers in the game. You see how he just swerves and glides through. Beautiful runner. Look how he just kicks again, back on the inside. That's 5 players he's met. It's the 6th one that actually takes him down. Really is in top form, full of confidence, and why not?
Steve-o, they say, don't they, that if you play back-to-back football here and then in Australia, you might just suffer fitness-wise. But there's no sign of that tonight from Devereux.
If you're a forward, yes, you could suffer, but he's still a three-quarter when, you know, they're having a bit of a rest every now and again. But, yes, I'd have to agree with you. I think Devereux has come back a better footballer, especially in defence, but you can see there, he still has that class.
Well, we've spoken about the break of Devereux. What about the break from Gary Spencer, who, well, he might have been at fault, some would say, for the bomb, but look at that lovely piece of intuition there, and what's more, he got the ball back.
Well, the most thing was something that was called for because both defences were moving up very quickly, and when it's just becoming like a wall, there's only one way you're going to get over it. That's a little chip over. They were very unfortunate there, but a great tackle by Adrian Hadley. Wonderful play from him.
And yet that was the time when Wakefield looked as though they might actually be about to produce something against this Widnes side.
I was very surprised that Widnes went in at half-time because I thought Wakefield were just edging with the fact that they'd made more clean breaks. I thought Goddard, when he made that break on the outside out wide, I thought that they should have scored there. That was a wasted chance.
But the chance came to Widnes, and it came as a result of the Bobby Goulding bomb. Now, you think here, Steve-o, that Goulding goes for the man, not the ball, as he chases his own kick downfield?
Well, I have no doubt myself, but you can see he just hesitates at the right moment and then tries to run into it. But as far as I'm concerned, he mistimed it so well, he confused the referee. But it's all fair in love and war.
And this took some scoring, didn't it?
Oh, it was good play by Hadley. He's very, very strong. But it's all fair in love and war, as we mentioned.
Here's another angle now.
It's a high kick. Now, watch Goulding. Now, he'll just stop for a moment and then go. And I think that's a moment that perhaps has confused the referee. Didn't me.
He certainly made it look as though he was making the play for the ball.
Very crafty play indeed. He got away with it, but as you mentioned, look at the man go in and out, just enough to go around the winger. Excellent play.
Just had the strength to stretch out and touch down.
That's all you take.
4-0, nothing to choose, as we've said. Who's going to win it?
I'm still going to stick my neck out for Wakefield because I think that they will now go for broke. I thought they would have done in the first 20 minutes. They did. They tried to keep the ball alive. One thing they've got to worry about is trying to close down John Devereux. If Bobby Goulding starts running at the angles and bringing the big fella on the inside, he's the man that can make the break. The second row as well for Milo. He's had a top game in the first half.
OK, well, we said, didn't we, before this match started, that it was a real 4-pointer, and it's only 4 points that separates these two sides. 4-0 Widnes lead at half-time, and who's for the points that will be so important, perhaps, as these two teams try and get up the table? Find out after this break.
Seize the day.
You're watching Sky Sports.
He is facing enemies unseen and fears unspoken.
Someone's out there killing people. I don't want to be the last one to know.
An investigation that draws him ever deeper into an abyss of murder and revenge.
You said the plane went down about 3:30? Well, that leaves 40 minutes unaccounted for. That's a long time.
If you're holding your breath.
Now Officer Jim Chi must choose between his duty to the force.
If I'm the one, hands up the rest of you, but don't resist.
And the higher laws of the Navajo Indians.
Is 40 minutes a long time?
Don't you people believe in revenge?
Lou Diamond Phillips.
I just can't seem to figure out who it is I'm chasing.
Ghosts, Jim. The Dark Wind. Monday, 10:15, the Movie Channel.
Watch the Family Channel and we'll squeeze in 90 minutes of puzzles and prizes in our quickfire quizzes, all exclusive to the Family Channel. Tune into a new set of friends on the Family Channel.
Heads up, got Strange Express coming through.
Godzilla!
Roar!
Stretch me out on Malibu Beach, bro.
Yeah.
breakers, big as condos, huh? Sally Schaefer and a full-on double doppelganger. You catch my drift?
How's your dead frog crew? Ribbit! Oh, shark attack!
Oh, Ben's at 4 o'clock. Yeah. Did you catch the drift?
Walker's Double Crunch. Deep cooked to seal in the flavour and let out the crunch. Now we're talking walking.
Need your car repaired? Look for a company with an 0800 number. They're so keen to talk to you, they'll even pay for your call.
Rover dealers, we won't just sell you a car. We'll measure you for one.
Now, I know this is short notice, but...
So, what kept you?
I thought Dad was on a health kick.
He is, but don't tell him. British pork. Take a fresh look.
Southampton against Newcastle live. Sunday at 2 on Sky Sports.
Seize the day.
Half-time here at Bellevue. Wakefield 0, Widnes 4. Widnes on course to maintain this great record of theirs. Since two-division football was reintroduced 20 years ago, they've lost only 4 of 16 visits. Adrian Hadley's try. The match facts: tackling all square. Scrums, 9 of them, 7 to Wakefield. Penalties only 5. Wakefield have had 3. Far too many handling errors, I suppose, for Widnes. And they had just the edge on possession in that first half. Widnes return. And interestingly enough, Widnes leading by 4 points to 0. Wakefield were last nilled in the big league by Widnes in December 91, 34-0. As you can see, Wakefield have made a change. Billy Conway has come on. He's missed the last 4, but he's got over 150 appearances under his belt now. And Conway has come on for Steve Durham. So that's a bit of a blow for them, a big man for the hooker. I imagine now that Bell will go into the front row, or rather move from hooker to prop forward. And David Smith has come on for Widnes in place of Andy Ireland. That's prop forward for Widnes. So 4-0 it is at half-time, and we're back underway at the start of a vital second period for both these teams.
So important now for Widnes. They're leading by those 4 points. They've got to try to camp Wakefield in their own quarter.
First touch for Conway. He finds Nigel Bell. Can't be emphasised just how important the 2 points are here tonight for both these sides. Wakefield, it seems, a perennial battle to get away from the lower reaches of the big league table, but for Widnes this is uncharted territory. They've never ever been out of the first division since 1973, since two-division football was reintroduced. Spruce takes the high ball and deals with it competently. Tries to run away from Goddard. It's clattered to the ground by Wilson. Here's that man Devereux again. By the looks of that reception committee, David Topless pointed out exactly what we were pointing out at half-time, that they mustn't let Devereux run with the ball.
But even then, for just a moment, you could see that two Wakefield would-be tacklers were going high to start with. It wasn't stopped until someone had gone low.
John Grieve, the man who made his debut and was jet-lagged, remember, when last we saw Widnes on Sky. Here's Milo again. It's a good run from Milo. Supports there from David Hume. He keeps the movement going to Goulding. That was a good tackle, though, coming in on Goulding from Wilson, and it gave the ball back to Wakefield.
It had to be as well. The ball was shifting out to Myers.
Ian Marlowe with the strong run, but from a standing start. Longstaff was the decoy. They found Bell instead. 15, Billy Conway at dummy half. Woods, whoop, crunch time there. What a tackle from Paul Hume.
Oh yes, but that was hospital stuff as far as I'm concerned. You could see the man just step, was carrying, and Hume just waited until he released the ball to him and crunch. Not the type of pass that any player likes to receive.
Widnes get possession from the scrum. It's now with David Ruane. Bagnall is there, brings him down. Bit of help from Mason. Paul Hume at dummy half. John Grieve missed it. Knock on. Mistake from the tall Australian from Manly.
Won't be happy with this. You can see there quite clearly he was looking at the reception committee rather than the white thing we call the ball.
3 minutes, second half gone. Wakefield in possession. What's been said at half-time by the coaches? Bill Arthur.
Well, Wakefield's priority is to get their ball control better, really. They've made mistakes in the first half. They believe they could have had 3 tries, and they're unhappy about Adrian Hadley's try, a hint of obstruction, they feel. Wakefield don't think that this game's beyond them. Of course it isn't at 4-0 down, and if they can get their control together, then they're still in the hunt. Widnes want to keep the pressure on, maintain their discipline. They're annoyed about the penalty count, which they feel is heavily loaded against them. They've got to maintain their discipline, maintain their control, and keep the pressure on.
Bagnall's ball to Hanlon. He finds Spencer. This is a better attack. Mason was the runner. Devereux watched him, though. And I can't see why they've got much to complain about in terms of penalties. 3-2. Just shows you coaches perhaps have a different interpretation on things than us up here.
Well, when you're under a lot of pressure, everything seems to go against you. May as well complain. Not that it will help them. It's the players out there on the pitch that are going to count.
David Smith says to Billy Conway, who's about half his size, get out the way. With Forshaw and Conway bring the Widnes substitute down. McCurry to Rod Howe. He's grounded right on the halfway line. McCurry now to Goulding. Goulding to David Hume. It's the last tackle for Widnes. Goulding drifts one over the top. Spencer watches, waits, picks up. 5 minutes gone, second half, still 4-0.
That's what Wakefield have to do more of. Get up from the ball, play the ball quickly. Try to catch this Widnes defence going backwards.
They've been working very hard in training for this Stonesborough Championship match here at Bellevue tonight. Both these sides. We've been saying how important the match is to the both of them, but I'm sure that message was being put across by their respective coaches this week. And we have a real contest here that is what for the winning, and Longstaff in possession for Wakefield. Over the top it goes to Forshaw, but Forshaw can't hang on, and Ruane picks up for Widnes, the man on loan from Lee.
Nice play again from Simon Longstaff. Tried to get the ball over, but Forshaw couldn't handle it. Little bit of desperation creeping into the Wakefield play, but the gaps are there.
That's good work from Paul Hume through Andy Mason, but he couldn't get through Hanlon or through Forshaw.
What an amazing contribution David Hume and Paul Hume give to this side. Never say die attitude.
Goulding long pass to David Hume. He dabs the ball forward. An invitation to Devereux, but Wilson read it well.
Nice idea. The trouble was that David Myers was very slow to get there. Look, you can see Myers, he didn't anticipate that kick. It's a wasted effort, wasted exercise if your wingman's not going to be there.
Wilson managed to keep that ball alive. Ian Marlowe using his strength to stand in the tackle, but the challenge was completed. He was standing up. Nigel Bell in possession for Wakefield. He's now gone into the second row. Billy Conway, the dummy half, is now the hooker. Big hit by David Smith. And that's out on the full from Forshaw. The pressure perhaps beginning to tell on Wakefield.
Well, it was a no-option kick that. Very poor indeed. Put himself and his team under a lot of pressure.
Yes, because when the ball goes out on the full, for any new viewers, the ball is brought back to where the kick was taken from, and that's when it's on the last tackle, of course, and possession is handed over immediately to the opposition.
I'm just beginning to wonder when Bobby Goulding's going to start running the angles, bringing players across him.
Here he is now. That's a good ball. And Paul Hume gets the ball away to Spruce. Good tackling from Wilson again, and the opposite number, Spencer. Widnes want to get on with it quickly with Goulding. Now it's with David Hume. They've got men out wide here, for Milo couldn't hang on. Ball went backwards. Play on, says the referee. This now is Devereux. Devereux running straight, and running straight into trouble. Bell bringing him down. Hadley in at dummy half. Widnes searching for the second try. Goulding short ball. Again the ball goes backwards, but this time the referee says no, we'll give the knock-on.
Not much chance there for John Grieve. Little short pass, but the welcoming committee was there. It's been a tough one, this.
Vital that Wakefield get this one, and they do, with Bagnall. He gets the ball away to Hanlon. Here comes the big man, Marlowe. Nine minutes, second half gone, as you were at half-time. Just the Adrian Hadley try, separating the two sides. Wakefield in possession, having lost perhaps their stars. Nigel Wright to Wigan, Michael Jackson to Halifax, Gary Price to Featherstone. They have spent some of the money they received, but as yet they have lost 5 in their opening 7 matches. Desperate not to make it, losing 6 from 8 tonight. In possession with Mason. Mason dropped on halfway by David Smith. Spencer at dummy half. Bell. And try and float one over that far side. Bounces once and finds touch.
See Bell trying to tell his players, but it was a nice kick. Thumped right in front of the wingman. When you look through this Wakefield side, there really is no superstars that perhaps can do something individual. Just give that spark, other than perhaps Bagnall. And I think it's a problem for their coach, David Topless, perhaps, to find somebody that can just bring that spark back into their side.
Spruce's ball must be forward. And the referee has agreed. That's a big mistake from the Widnes fullback. So early in the tackle count. Possession will be surrendered at this scrum here.
Bad mistake, no doubt about it. The crowd going berserk at the Australian referee, but Full credit to Greg McCallum. He was just trying to see whether Wakefield could take any advantage of it. They play a lot of advantage, the Australian referees.
Maybe they'll take advantage here. That was a strong run from Goddard. Bagnall, dummy half, Bell. A real servant to this club, Nigel Bell. Billy Conway. Bagnall. Wakefield inching closer to the Widnes posts. Maybe they'll get further there now with Marlowe. He releases the ball well to Conway. And David Smith and John Grieve bring him down. Try now for Wakefield. The cat would be amongst the pigeons. Continue the movement going with Mason. Mason jinking, coming inside, releasing the pass. So close. So close, and it's on the 5th tackle. Dave Woods saying he's being impeded by David Hume at the play the ball, and the referee agrees, penalty Wakefield. Now will they kick for goal here, or will they go for broke? They're so close to the line, it's a big decision.
I'd go for broke, go for the 4 points and perhaps a 6, and they have.
Bagnall to Hanlon, Hanlon to Longstaff. This is a big test of the Widnes defence now. That tackle was from Goulding. This is Spencer. Spencer jinking one way, coming back the other.
Keep your eye out for Bagnall.
Here's the big man, Marlowe. Vital moments these for Wakefield. So close. 4 points down, looking for the try that could turn the match their way. Conway again. Bagnall, will he switch it wide? No, he goes back the same channel. And that's 5 tackles gone. Last chance then for Wakefield in this set of 6. They'll surely give it some width now. Bagnall gets the ball again for the 2nd time. And it was a good job that the Widnes defence had stood firm. Hadley the man.
It was a knock-on. Bagnall punched it through. You can see there that Bobby Goulding attempted to get that. That should be a head and feet to Wakefield. Oh, it's tense stuff here at Bellevue.
And head and feet to Wakefield it is. Bagnall gets the ball from the scrum. Big chance for Wakefield now then. Oh, the ball's dropped. Oh, they've bombed that one. The difference between winning and losing pay can be just the grip that a player has on a football at a vital time.
Oh, bad mistake there. Was Brown, the winger. He was bringing run around that they often do from a scrum win. And they're bringing out the player. Looks like the 2nd row, Mike Forshaw. Have a few words perhaps to Greg McCallum. Or has he just given a knock on? Well, I thought he got him for a swinging arm. I think he still might have.
Longstaff and Devereux. Let's see if we can get any clue as to what happened, because it's penalty Widnes.
Yeah, it was Longstaff that threw a little short one. There you can see, trying to take the head off the shoulders. Quite hard.
So penalty rightly going Widnes' way, despite the fact that Greg McCallum is not the most popular man at Bellevue at the moment, but that's great tackling by Bell. Forcing David Smith back.
It's important now for both sides to keep their composure. It's getting a little bit untidy.
John Grieve with the run. No support there for Widnes. A half break from Grieve. Now then, Widnes have marshalled this attack. Hume to Devereux. Oh, I was going to say he hangs on to it somehow. The ball went round his stomach, round his backside, and then eventually went to ground. It's Goddard with the run. Goddard, who had a great run in the first half, remember, but Dave Smith tracking back. We have 15 minutes of this 2nd half gone, and this is Dave Woods.
He's had a big game with Woods. Worked hard.
So has Marlowe. Spencer's there, gets away from one. The line has suddenly opened up and suddenly closed down.
But where was the support again?
Conway gets the ball away. And out further wide. Longstaff keeps it going. Mason for Wakefield. Gives the ball some air to Hanlon. Hanlon gets it out wide to Brown. Brown going for the corner. Oh, great tackle, Hadley.
Super positioning by Adrian Hadley. He showed him the corner. You've only got one way to go, boy. And that's trying to get round me on the outside. He used the touchline as his best friend. And the best friend repaid him. Super stuff from both sides. Nice try by Brown, but great defence by Adrian Hadley. That's the second try saver of this game from Hadley.
And remember, the man there, number 5, just giving the ball back to Bobby Goulding. It was his try, it is his try, that separates these two sides at the moment.
What a tough one this is.
Absolutely nothing to choose between these two sides, either tonight or in the big league table, but David Hume with that run.
Fitness is going to tell, especially in the last 10 minutes. You can see some of the players, they're sucking in the fresh air.
Ruane on halfway. McCurry to Paul Hume. Last tackle for Widnes. Goulding, diagonal kick again, but straight into the arms of Brown this time. Oh, and he gets away from Ruane. And he's bundled into touch by Paul Hume. It looked for a moment as though he was away, but Hume said, "You're not going anywhere, mate."
Second time in less than a minute. They've offered the outside run to Paul Brown. But what a great ball and all tackle there from Paul Hume. Super stuff. That's a bad mistake.
Wakefield just about to make a change now. We're going to have Gary Christie coming on, and it'll be winger Paul Brown who should be coming off. Christie waiting patiently on the touchline, but no sign of any action yet. Yes, here he comes now. Christie coming on. It's going to be Paul Brown coming off. Wakefield looking for a bit more pace.
Brown bundled into touch twice then in the past couple of minutes, replaced by David Topless. And Christie takes his place on the wing. So the fresh legs. Devereux for Widnes. Ball back inside to Ruane, to Spruce.
Well, he looked a little bit dejected there, did the winger Paul Brown, when he went off. He needn't be. He's played his part tonight.
Well, John Devereux deciding to come left, then going right. The Wakefield players and crowd appealing for obstruction, but the referee will have none of it, so Myers can carry on.
Well, it's got to be a kick that's going to separate this, I'm sure. Unless one of the defences just folds.
Paul Hume running strongly. Good tackling. Conway in on the tackling, and Dave Woods. Last one for Widnes. Goulding in charge. Ball dabbed forward. Wilson doesn't sweep it up. Oh, they nearly made a meal of that, but Widnes were all caught offside anyway, and Wakefield breathed a big sigh of relief.
Goulding there just started a little bit too late. He dummied at the last moment. There's no doubt about it that Myers were there just in front. Well, that's the type of thing that both sides have to be looking for. Nice try there by Goulding, but he just dummied too late.
A relieving penalty then as Wilson hobbles around. Nothing to choose, as we say, between these two. 4 points to nil. Widnes ahead midway through the second half, and one of their injured players is Darren Wright, and he is talking to Bill Arthur. Let's get his view.
Darren, it really is nail-biting stuff.
It is, yeah. I think we'll be happy if we come away with the 4-0 win tonight. We just come here for the 2 points.
Well, at the moment you're on course for that, but there's some heroic defence going in.
There's been a couple of try-saving tackles. I think John Devereux just made one down there, a tackle which definitely had to be made.
But the longer the game goes on, the more confident you feel?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're capable of closing the game off if the score keeps like this.
And you don't let them break through like that?
No, definitely not.
Last tackle for Wakefield, this set of 6. Bell gets the ball away to Longstaff. Longstaff gives it some air, but it has too much length on it, that kick, and the ball runs dead.
Nice try by the loose forward, Simon Longstaff. He's been one of the stars of this Wakefield outfit.
So the last quarter of this match, of course, as well as team fitness that comes into this, I just wonder whether the Wakefield Trinity jinx is going to strike today. But at the moment, they are seeing almost 60% of the ball in this second half. They really, though, must try and turn that possession into points.
That was a forward pass, the delayed pass. Goulding not happy with it. That looks okay, my book. Well, there's been plenty for this crowd to either jeer or cheer about. Looks confused, doesn't he, Bobby?
Tigerish, though, round the feet of Bagnall. Here's Longstaff. A shame for both these two sides that perhaps there has to be a loser this evening. They have both worked so hard.
There might not be.
Yes, it might be all square at the end of 80 minutes, mightn't it? 4-0. Goddard with the run. Thought about releasing the ball. All he could see ahead of him, though, was for Milo, so hung on. Conway to Hanlon, to Spencer. Spencer juggling and keeps hold of it. Ducks underneath the challenge. Mason's there. Mason, the ball drops. Another chance gone. But can they keep the momentum going? The answer's no. How close Wakefield are getting in this second half with no reward.
Well, I thought Mason was over then, and he just seemed to sidestep at the last moment when the gap and the opportunity presented itself. It was just before that when that gap opened, when he did the step. But what do Wakefield have to do to get that white ball over the try line?
It was David Ruane's challenge on Mason that was so critical.
We must be into double figures for try-saving tackles tonight.
Last tackle for Widnes. They're still half the length of the field away from the Wakefield posts. And that ball too long from Goulding.
Well, what a testing time for the two coaches. They're a bit topless at Wakefield, wondering what each side has to do, as we've mentioned. Phil Larder wouldn't have been happy with the way that Bobby Goulding forced that ball dead in goal. They've got to try to keep it alive, not give the chance to Wakefield to come back into this game.
Only 4 points between these two then. Only Lee and Hull in the big league have scored fewer points than the two teams on show tonight. We might have expected nothing between them.
It's all down to composure, not lose your head, give away a silly penalty.
Great run from Bagnall. David Hume, the way he just holds the player up at the critical second or two. John Grieve got the ball on the bounce from the Wakefield player, but the referee's whistle's gone.
Well, Forshaw, did he have that ball ripped away? Not according to the referee. This will be the Widnes head and feed, but it's not going to be. He's deemed that Widnes were the culprits for the knock-on.
So more pressure then coming in from Wakefield with Goddard. He chipped that one ahead. He took a dive from Paul Hume, and the referee says it was illegal, the challenge by Hume. It's a penalty to Wakefield, and Wakefield want to get on with it.
That is excellent play there by Wakefield, to take a gamble like that when you gain possession of the scrum. Like they all do, the teams do it, both in Australia and this country. They do not have a full-back. He stands up in the line, and they nearly paid the penalty. Good thinking by Wakefield, and good thinking by that man.
Now here's Marlowe. Can Wakefield capitalise on that little piece of intelligent play from Richard Goddard? They're 10 metres short of the line. They're in possession with Bell. Less than a quarter of an hour to go. This match is up for winning. Here's Dave Woods. A big test again of this Widnes defence. How long can they stand this pressure? Conway! So close again.
Super tackling by Widnes.
Woods gets the ball out to Bagnall. Bagnall going on his own. Gets the ball away. It's Woods again, and it's the last tackle. Widnes have withstood some pressure here. Conway at dummy half. Spins the ball wide. Hume went for the intercept and he was offside.
Oh, that was a dangerous run there by Hume. This could be it.
They've taken it quickly, Wakefield. Bell. Devereaux with the tackle. Conway at dummy half. And this time they went for it again. McCurry. The whistle's gone again. The whistle's gone again. It's a penalty, Wakefield.
He was a mile offside, was the hooker, Steve McCurry. Why did they take the gamble again? Look at them, we could see that. They don't have to stand back the full 10 metres when they're so close to the line, but they have to get over the white line, and he didn't.
Steve-O, this is the third penalty in quick succession for Wakefield.
The pressure, I don't care, they've gone for the gamble. They have to keep the pressure. If they would have taken the 2 points, perhaps they would have gone back the deep kick. They would have lost their momentum.
McCurry's in the sin bin for 10 minutes. Widnes are down to 12 men. Can Wakefield now make possession tell? The ball out to Mason. Mason's got Christie, the substitute, outside him. He's got Paul Hume all over him.
Oh, this is a heroic effort from Widnes in defence.
So they're down to 12 men. Widnes, foreshore in possession for Wakefield. Will that decision from Greg McCallum turn this match? Bagnall gets the ball to Hanlon. There's men out wide. Goddard lost his footing.
He tried to step inside. He was looking for Wilson.
Here's Longstaff. Wakefield running down blind alleys. Wilson tries to get the ball away. Conway continues it on. Hanlon, will it be 6 to go? Referee keeps his arm by his side. Here's Christie. Christie taking him on out wide. Christie, great tackle. Adrian Hadley. Another try-saver from the Welshman.
Oh, super play there. Adrian Hadley this time with no option. The speed of Gary Christie, the substitute, accelerated away. Hadley had no option. Another try-saver from him. They ought to buy him more than just one drink tonight. Scorer of the try. Saver of 3 at least.
It's Spruce with the run, but you know, Greg McCallum, the match referee, he had a big hand in the defeat of Leeds at Featherstone in midweek. He sin-binned Matthew Schultz with only a few minutes to go, and Featherstone got over for a match-winning try courtesy of Roebuck. He's now sin-binned McCurry, and Widnes down to 12 men. Can Wakefield capitalise?
Well, they haven't, and that's a problem.
And it's Widnes who are away with Myers. Myers from nothing. He's got to get round Spencer. He releases the pass, and Goulding would score. Goulding just waited. He didn't believe it for a moment. Thought that the whistle had gone from the referee. And Goulding has scored the 4 points. But who knows? Could well win this match for Widnes.
The sucker punch, it came that way. The bad mistake. Widnes got the ball. The loose forward, Paul Hume, whips it away. And look at the man Myers go. In and out, makes the commitment from the centre, Goddard, but the support plays there. Something that's been missing from the Wakefield attack. Goulding cheekily holds the ball. You little beauty. Super run from Myers. Notice the in and out. In, out, commits the man, Spencer. Can't do anything with that. They run out of numbers. The glee, the smile. You little beauty.
Devereaux then with the conversion from bang in front. And Widnes have suddenly opened up a 10-point lead. And all that pressure from Wakefield. Widnes with the 12 men, but Widnes with the 10 points.
They commit to the man from the wing. Look at the gap. The rest is history.
I wasn't so sure then, Steve-O, that Bobby Goulding hadn't heard a whistle from the crowd and stopped.
No,
or was that just kidology?
That was kidology. As it turns out, the try scorer, the try maker in the first half, he'll be pleased with that. But you could see the relief as it ran through the Widnes camp. What a great defensive effort. It must have been well into 20 tackles that they had to look after. Wakefield just could not get through that sterling defence, and that was forward.
Greg McCallum agrees, but Paul Hume would like to debate the issue. I don't know why.
Neither do I. But at 10-0, either way, I don't think either side will be buying the referee, Greg McCallum, a drink after the game.
One against the head for Widnes. The ball came back to Goulding, and he's fed Devereaux. Devereaux has got the support there. Hume gets it out to Myers. Myers turns the ball back inside, straight into the arms of Hanlon. Well.
Well, they didn't need to do that panic football. Not when you're leading 10-0. They should have just gone down with it, played it nice and steady. There's no need for that. They should have gone just down, played the ball. They don't have to panic. It's Wakefield who have to play catch-up football.
It's a penalty to Wakefield for this.
Wouldn't allow him to play the ball. Quite simple. It's just amazing, Eddie, the amount of tackles that Widnes had absorbed. Inches and inches away on every tackle.
Simon Longstaff will continue the battle for Wakefield, who have had 9 penalties to Widnes' 3. Perhaps now Widnes have got something to complain about in terms of the penalty count, but they've nothing to complain about in terms of that scoreboard. 10-0. Confidence now starts to run through Widnes, and how dispiriting it must be for Wakefield to have all that pressure and nothing to show.
Just one missed tackle. The sucker punch came. Still not over, though.
Pat a cake. It's Goddard who picks up the loose ball. A match so far of what might have been for Wakefield. So close, so often. Here's Bell. Shoulder to shoulder with Smith.
He's worked hard as Bell.
Paul Brown's returned for Andy Wilson, who's been hobbling for about the last 5 or 10 minutes. Hanlon with the long pass out wide. Brown is there, but that's forward. Referee says play on. 6 to go, 10 points to 0, Widnes lead. Wakefield looking for a vital point. Ball patted back, looking for Andy Mason, but Widnes first to it in the shape of Paul Hume.
The pack have worked very hard for Widnes, but it all boils down to 2 men in my book, is that Bobby Goulding made the first try, and of course, look at that possession there, and scored the second, which was vital, and Adrian Hadley, try-saving tackles.
So coming up to the last 5 minutes, Widnes just now content to play out the time. Wakefield have got to get the ball back. Ruane's in possession though for Widnes. On course for their 3rd win of the season, Widnes. Such a vital one against one of the clubs down there with them at the wrong end of the table. Goulding plants the ball downfield. Christie picks up for Wakefield. Oh, dangerous pass across his own post. Spencer picks up, but that's great running and great tackling from Myers. And that looked like a knock-on. Spencer looked like he dropped that ball.
Well, it's panic football from Wakefield. They've got nothing else to lose. Just keep the ball alive. No, he picked it up okay. But really, that was an intelligent kick from Bobby Goulding. They know they're in the driving seat. Nothing panic, just a neat little kick. Don't let it go into touch. And good chasing, and that's what they've done all night. Tackle like that.
They've worked hard. They've both worked hard, these two sides. The vital breaks, though, have gone Widnes' way, but will they now? Goddard out to Brown. Brown showing a clean pair of heels. There's chances here. Good ball inside. Mason couldn't hang on. How many chances have Wakefield thrown away?
They just can't believe it. Excellent play by Brown. He just fended off Myers. Committed Devereaux to the tackle. The pass was okay. Mason should have taken that. And another one goes begging. This will be nightmare stuff when their coach, David Topless, shows them at training next week. This is a game that they should well and truly have wrapped up midway through the second half, when they had well over 20 play the balls, and yet they're still nil.
Remember, Widnes still down to 12 men. McCurry is now coming back from the sin bin. So not only have they got out of jail, Widnes, but they've scored a vital try under the sticks. And don't forget, on Sunday, the next match in the Kiwis tour, as they face Leeds, hoping to get it right for the second test next Saturday at Wigan. You can see that on Sky Sports Sunday night at 7.
I know it's been pretty tight in defence, but it's been a great game. I'm sure the fans have thoroughly enjoyed it. Super stuff from both sides. Good defence. But haven't they put their heart and soul into one of the greatest games of all rugby league?
Goulding with the chip over the top, picks it up or forward. A little backhander from Goulding to David Ruane, and the referee was level, and this time Goulding agrees. Has no complaints about that decision.
Why should he, with only 2.5 minutes remaining and leading 10-0? Bit of a gamble there, but I'm sure he's still got a bit of a ticking off from his coach.
Mason with the run, David Smith with the tackle. Billy Conway finds Bagnall. He's worked hard. In fact, you couldn't choose between these two sides in terms of work rate. They have both put their bodies on the line. And look at that tackle count. But Widnes have got their tails up as we approach 1.5 minutes to go.
Well, we talked about fitness telling in the end, but it wasn't. It was just one breakaway, really, late in the game. The ferocity of these tackles, equally as hard as when the game started.
Hanlon gets the ball away to Woods, his captain. And Widnes, as they have done all night, tackling ferociously and for all they are worth. Hanlon again. Drops one over the top. Hadley is there. He's got Christie bearing down on him. And the referee says, I think, that the swinging arm from Hanlon was illegal.
Just a little bit high. There you see it. Don't know why he's got any complaints. If anybody's got any complaints, it's the man who received it. Swinging right forearm.
Steve-O, we're in the last minute. It's 10 points the gap. It looks like the game is up for Wakefield, and Widnes will go home with a valuable 2 points. What will this do to Wakefield's confidence as the winter draws in?
Well, there's a few bright spots that I'm sure they can pick out of it. Mainly the fact that they have made the breaks. They have created the gaps. The only problem that they've got to finish. And that has been lacking. Support play have let them down.
And this remarkable record of Widnes at Bellevue is going to continue. And that will do their confidence a power of good, won't it?
Well, it certainly helped. They have the class and talent out there. This guy been rarely seen the second half, mainly due to the fact that Wakefield have just taken control in the second stanza and still come away with nothing.
The powerful run from Paul Hume. It's the last tackle for Widnes. We're into stoppage time now. Goulding will hoist another one to test Spencer. Spruce is onside, but this time Spencer comes up with it, then releases the pass, and Christie knocks on. Well, I suppose to excuse them, you have got to try and force the pace, but...
Well, he took it well. Spruce put him under a lot of pressure. McCurry was there also. You could see him turn round to his fellow players and say, hey, come on. Seconds to go, we've got to try. And that they certainly have, Wakefield, but it's to no avail. Widnes have taken their chances.
Goulding in possession for them. This is David Hume, still going David Hume. So close, Wakefield now, having to defend in injury time here. Ruane to Goulding. Goulding long pass out. Devereux